Hi everyone, Bird here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm celebrating Teach the World to Sew Day. It is a global movement to inspire creativity, spark learning, and connect through the power of sewing. I'll be walking you through step by step how to make a simple beginner-friendly denim tote bag, so let's get into it. Teach the World to Sew Day is a global movement to inspire creativity, spark learning, and connect through the power of sewing. I'll be walking you step by step through how to make a simple beginner-friendly mini tote. This bag, it will be practical, adorable, and it's a great reminder of what you can actually do with your own two hands. All you'll need for this particular project is to grab fabric, whatever speaks to you. I am using a lightweight denim with this really beautiful patch that was provided to me by Pfaff, and it is actually a collaborative with all of these brands. And I'm using a contrasting, really pretty fabric for the inside, and you'll need two webbings for the strap. So let me give you the dimensions for it. So for the outside and the inside of the fabric, you need 11 inches by 30 inches. That's the same one. So 11 by 30 inches, and that's for the outside of the bag as well as the inside of the bag. And then for your webbings, you just need two 27-inch webbing strips. Now you can also make your own straps. You don't have to actually use webbing, so you can make these by just folding up fabric for whatever length of the straps that you want. Sometimes people like shorter straps on their tote bags. Sometimes people like longer straps. All right, so let's get into it. I haven't done a sew along in a little while, and I'm super excited for this one, to be honest with you guys. So let's get started. The first thing is, because I did put on a patch, and this is optional, but you can do whatever you want to decorate your bag. But because it is an iron-on patch, I like to go over and add stitches just to make sure that I am completely securing the patch. So I'm going to go ahead and sew down the patch, go all the way around. I make tote bags actually a lot. I end up making tote bags for different people, for different types of events, anniversaries, birthdays, things like that. And I like to use my embroidery machine to customize it. I may add different little figures on it. I may put names on it. Whoops, let me go all the way to the end there. All the way around. And if you have an iron-on patch, honestly, you may not necessarily need to stitch it on, but because I know I'm going to be using this tote bag a lot, and I'm just going to be throwing it in the washer, so I just want to make sure that the patch doesn't come off. So I've done that. Get rid of these. I'm going to need to go ahead and switch my thread because I was using white thread for the tote bag, and I need to switch back over to a darker thread. So for your lining and your main fabric, your external fabric, what you want to do is turn your fabric so it is right sides facing. So I've turned it right sides facing. And what you are going to simply do is just sew down the long end on the exterior of the bag. So you're sewing on the wrong side. Do the same thing on your lining fabric. So you see I've clipped it, but on your lining fabric, you want to leave roughly 3 to 4 inches open on one side. And that is going to be what you're going to use to turn your bag inside out, or I should say right side out. So let's sew this one down just like I did with the external. Oops, I almost forgot to put in my little turnout spot. Glad I caught myself. And then come down to this end. If you forget to do it, it is not the end of the world. All you go back is use your seam ripper, and you just go ahead and open up one side by 3 or 4 inches. And I think I left it open actually probably about 4 inches. Let's finish this side over here. I'm really glad that Pfaff kicked off this Teach the World to Sew Day, because I think it is a wonderful thing to do to continue to pass on this beautiful hobby and skill to other people. Oh, I forgot something. I wanted to share this with you guys because I actually got comments from another sew along that I did, and I had someone to actually ask, what is this? This is an extension table that I purchased separately directly from on the Pfaff website, and I will drop a link in the description so that you can actually find it as well and get a discount off. I think it's 20% off. But what it does is it gives me much more space. Let me show you what I would be working with. What I would be working with if I did not have the extension table. So this is what comes with the machine. So I would have that space, which is totally fine. But guys, look at the difference. So whenever I can, let me put this down. Whenever I can, I use the extension table. And the extension table really was not an expensive item. I want to say it costs less than $100. And then if you do it on the Pfaff site using my link, you get a discount off as well. So I think it is a great addition. The next thing that we want to do is box these corners. Now, when you do a tote bag, you can actually keep it like this, but I like to box the corners because it provides a little bit of a gusset, so to speak, so you have a little bit more room at the bottom of the bag. I think I'm going to sew up on this side maybe a little inch more so it doesn't get to my little boxed area. I'll have plenty of space to turn this inside out. And because I'm going to turn this inside out, I don't even have to worry about all of the threads that I normally have to cut off because they're going to be on the inside of the tote bag. So the way I do the boxing is, this is where I started. And you just want to pinch the two pieces of fabric apart. So pinch it apart. And then I'm going to kind of finger press to make sure that the sewn seam and like this folded edge line up. I'm going to grab a pin or two. Now, honestly, I eyeball this because I've been sewing enough that I can kind of get a general idea. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is to get a ruler, and you want to, let me find where the 1-inch area is. You want to actually mark generally about an inch. I'm going to say about 1.5 inches. So you can't really see that. I can see that. I'm going to grab a darker marker. It's on the inside of the bag, so I don't have to worry about it being seen. So if you see that very light mark there, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side, pinching it together. Grab my ruler, find 1.5 inches in. It's about right there. Now what you're going to do is, once you've done that, you want to do the exact same thing on your denim or whatever your exterior fabric is that you're using. And you are going to simply just sew across that area. So let's go ahead and sew across all 4 corners, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So we are almost done. So what you want to do after you've done the, let me show you the edges, what I did with the corners. So again, about 1.5 inches once you put the 2 pieces of fabric together. I marked that, I sewed all 4 pieces, and then I just kind of trimmed close to the seam allowance. And let me do this one as well. You don't have to, but it is especially helpful if you are using bulky materials. All right, so let me do the lining piece as well. The next thing that we are going to do is to attach the straps. So let's turn our bag right side out. And before going any further, just take your fingers into the corners of the bag. And if you have a point turner, which looks like this, looking for my metal one. I mean, if you have one of these, you can use this. If not, just use your fingers and it should work perfectly fine. This step you want to do because it ensures that you have really, you know, clean corners and that sort of thing. And if you want to hit it with an iron, you certainly can. All right. And then for this bag, we can do the same thing, but I'm going to do that in just a moment. All right, so grab your straps. So what I did off camera, and let me show you how I did that. Let me grab my tape measure. So once you have sewn the sides of the bag together, from one edge to the other edge of the bag is roughly about 10 inches, a little bit more than 10 inches because we started with fabric that was 11 inches wide. And so, of course, when you take into consideration the seam allowance, your finished bag is going to be about 10 inches wide. So the middle of that bag is going to be 5 inches. So I found the middle of my bag. And then what I did was approximately 2.5 to 3 inches away from my center point, I put a little mark. Let me show you my mark. I just used a little marking tool. Went a little bit overboard, but that works perfectly fine. I marked it so it would be pretty much spot on both sides. And then you put your straps on right sides facing. So this is the right side of the bag. And you put your straps on. Make sure that you don't get them twisted up. Clip them on both sides. Let me make sure I clip that one pretty well. And this one as well in the same area. Then you are going to take your lining fabric, and you want your lining fabric to be right sides, well, wrong sides out, I should say, so that the right sides are touching. So it will look like this. Go ahead and put that in there. You guys probably know that if you've been following me for a while, you know that I teach fitness classes, and I taught, so once I put it in, I'm going to go ahead and line up the seams. So starting with the side seams, get a clip. I teach fitness classes each week at a local gym, and I've been doing that forever, which, you know, I love doing. I taught a really, really great kickboxing class this morning, guys, and followed up with a little bit of deep stretching and yoga. Take your time, so when you get to the areas where the straps are, that you make sure to clip it so that you are encasing the strap on the inside of the exterior bag and the interior bag, and do that on each strap. You can add as many clips as you like to feel comfortable. So I teach fitness classes and taught a really, really great class today. What I like to do, because sewing is very sedentary, and then we're up and we're down and we're ironing, we're cutting, can be a lot of stress and tension on your shoulders, on your back, lower back, your upper back. You know, you're up and you're down. In addition to sitting in the hot tub and doing other things like that, I like to, I actually have a massage gun. I'm going to show it to you. Actually, why don't I go ahead and show it to you now? So here it is, guys. I have been wanting one of these for a while. This is the Bob and Brad Q2 massage gun, and they were kind enough to send it over to me, and I love it. It has a couple features that are really, really amazing. It comes in this really cute little kit, so you can keep everything together. And inside it had a couple different heads that hit different kind of muscle groups. And it's super handy. It fits so neatly in my hand. It's super easy to charge up. All that I have to do is hold it down for just a couple seconds and it turns the power on. But these massage heads are so good. I have never seen a massage gun that had a heat and cold application. This particular one, and you can just screw it on and off to change them. This one let me see if I can show you that on camera. But if you look closely, can you see that? If I press one and hold it down, it is for heat. And if I press and hold down the other one, it goes to ice. And so depending upon what in the world I have done, you know, this really helps to kind of loosen things up. And I am so enjoying it. I honestly keep it in my sewing room because, let me turn it off a minute. I want to turn the heat on first. So I turn the heat on first, hold it down for a couple seconds, and then it lights up. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm getting back to sewing. I am, guys, but I just wanted to show this to you guys. I am so excited for it. And you have a couple different levels, so it doesn't have to be, you can make it higher or lower depending upon what you want. And don't judge my look, guys. I still have on my fitness attire. But guys, I love this. I just gently apply it to my muscles. It is so, so good. Again, don't judge me, guys. I look a mess. I know I look a mess. But it feels so incredibly good. And I can do this when I'm sitting down, reading a book, watching TV. But I do it as I take breaks from sewing because it helps a lot, especially when I'm thinking about my back, my shoulder areas and things like that. Listen to that vibration. But I really, really love it. And I love the fact that it has this heat component. I had never seen that before. And it feels so, so, so good. Anyway, let me get back to sewing, guys. Let me get back to it. All right, so let me turn off the heat component. I really, really like this a lot. So really good. So it's warm, but it's not going to burn you up. And then the different pieces. So let me tell you, because I don't remember off the top of my head. This particular ball head is for the large muscle groups like your quads, your glutes, and things like that. Then they have this particular one, which is for relaxation, sensitive body parts. They have the U-shaped one, which is for the spine, neck, and shoulders. I've never used anything like that before. I'm usually more into this one. These on the larger body groups as well. And then they have one other, which they call the bullet head. And the bullet head is for joints, deep tissue, trigger points, and small muscle areas like your feet and your wrists. So again, doing all that sewing, guys. So anyway, all right, I digress. Let's get back to sewing. Oh, I will drop a link down below in the description. So if you are interested, you can find this. This is on Amazon, guys. Again, it is the Real Massager for Real Relief. And it does include the heat and the cold piece. And it's from Bob and Brad. So I'll drop all the information down below. Let's get back to sewing. The next thing that we want to do is getting back to the straps. We are just going to simply sew all the way around. I am going to take off my extension table because I want to be able to get in a little bit closer. And I'm looking at the instructions for this particular one. I think it's a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Hold tight, guys. I'm pretty sure because everything is 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and sew all the way around. And I like to start pretty much at a seam area. Be careful as you're going over the straps, and you want to make sure that you're using the right needle. Because I am using denim and these canvas webbing straps, I would recommend using a denim needle. And but it depends on how your sewing machine tolerates it. I'm going to go back and forth just once over the strap area to reinforce that area. Now, if I'd just been sewing the tote bags and not actually talking, we would have been done with this in probably 15 to 30 minutes. That's how easy it is to pull this together. And the holidays are almost upon us. And so this is the type of a project that would be perfect for not only yourself, but also if you wanted to make gifts for other people, you could personalize everything. I just think it's a really neat, fun project. Okay, so what we need to do now is just remember that little 2 to 3 inch opening that we left open on one side of the lining. We want to just go ahead and gently begin to turn our bag right side out. Some people call this birthing the bag. I really love this color fabric that I chose. I love that pop of color. Let's clean up some of these extra threads. It looks so good. Let me show you what it looks like, guys. You turn it right side out. Ooh, y'all, she is pretty. And you can make this tote bag any size that you want. And the last thing that we need to do is go back, pull the lining out, and I am actually going to change my thread to match the bag because you will be able to see this. I'm going to put just a couple clips here. You can do this by hand if you prefer, but whenever I have an opportunity to actually use my sewing machine, that is exactly what I'm going to do. So all you're going to do is just very close to the folded edge of the fabric. You're just going to simply sew very close to close up the inside of the bag. And just like that, guys, you have a super duper easy beginner friendly tote bag. Remember, you can make the dimensions of this bag anything that you want. You can make it super wide, you can keep it narrow, pretty much to meet any kind of specific need that you may have. I love the pop of color on the inside. I think it came out so incredibly neat. The straps are a really good length. So thank you guys so much for my sew along as we teach the world to sew day. This has been super, super fun. If you are new to me, please hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so when I provide another sew along or an update about sewing, fabric stores, and the like, so you'll know. And if you have been rocking with me for a while, you already know how much I appreciate you all so much. That's it for today. Bye-bye.